Well, we're going to take that transmission in to get rebuilt. And before we take that transmission in, I've got to get these U-joints out of this drive shaft. We're going to put 3 brand new U-joints in. We had to heat up the yoke up on the front section. Actually, this is the front section here. We had to heat this yoke up to get the U-joint out. It was kind of rusted in there, and that one needs replaced. These other ones are okay, but I figured as long as we're replacing the one, we might as well replace them all. So we're going to get after that. We got to get these end caps off of here, the little clip, and then we've got to push the U-joint itself out. So this has got a pretty big drive line in it. This is a little bigger than you normally see. I don't know what the hell the diameter is on that. It's got to be 5-inch, but let's get after getting these U-joints out. This style U-joint's just got a little tiny clip that sits over the wheel, if you will. I've got all those removed. It's just a clip like this that sets on there. So they're all removed. These U-joints are pretty good size. I do have a tool here. This is a Tiger tool. That's a model 10102. What that's going to do is it's going to set in here like this, and then the 2 feet on the side here push down on the U-joint, and it ends up pushing it out of the drive shaft. But we're going to soak this with penetrating oil here first. Again, these U-joints are pretty good size. They're a little bigger than the normal ones. It might take a little bit to get them pushed out of there, so we're going to see how we make out. We might have to put a little bit of heat on it, but let's see how it goes. We got 3 of them to take out. Alright, we've got the one U-joint removed, and then on this section here, when we went to take it apart, I couldn't get the bolts out that hold all the little clips down over the wheels there. I ended up breaking 3 out of the 4 bolts off that hold the U-joint in, so we've got to weld nuts on them, pull them out of the yoke there. Okay, so these should spin out easier than the exhaust manifold bolts, just because we haven't got a lot of heating and cooling going on here. So I'm just going to heat these yokes, the yoke up a little bit on each side before we spin them out. That was cute. We were able to move them bolts with ease. They came out like butter. I don't know. But we've got to remove the U-joints out of this back section. Again, this is a Tiger tool, the U-joint removing tool. And the part number on this one is a 10102. And this frickin' thing works frickin' great. So, if you need one of them, grab one, because I would highly advise using that to get U-joints out. You can take U-joints out with that tool and reuse them. You get those U-joints that are the full rounds. In other words, they are in a full cap in the yoke like this. If you have to remove the drive shaft at all, before I had that tool, we had to pound on them, and most of the time we couldn't get them out, and we'd have to cut the frickin' U-joint. These U-joints are about $100 a piece. This truck here's got an extreme large drive shaft in it, so I don't recall what these ones cost, but I've got to get 3 of them. They do have a little slop in them, not much, but you don't want any slop at all. As soon as you see any slop in a U-joint, they're shot, but they're not dry anyways, but it's just, I might as well replace all of them, so there's only 3. So let's get the rest of these other 2 out, and we'll head into Syracuse with that transmission. Break some new U-joints back, get them in. I can hang that back part of the shaft in the W9, and then we'll have to wait for the transmission to come back to do the rest of the work on it. So let's get after getting these other 2 out. Alright, we've got our transmission all loaded up. Had to roll the tonneau cover up to get it in there. That was all covered in frickin' ice. But we were able to manage to get that rolled up. But before we take off, we got to add some DEF fluid, diesel exhaust fluid. So we'll get this pumped in there, and then we can hit the road here. Now this universal here that's on the left hand side, this is the U-joint to come out of the W9, and this is a spare 1810. It's a Spicer U-joint. This is a half round, so it's got bolt caps that hold one side in, and then it's got like a clip that holds the other side in. Then of course I've got a wheel missing because I robbed it to use on another U-joint. So this is an 1810, but just to give you an idea of the size difference, look at the size difference of the wheel on the cross that goes in, cross meaning the U-joint, that goes into the W9. An 1810 is typically what you see in most other trucks. It's a little bigger in size here, but it doesn't have the thickness that this U-joint here is, and I don't know offhand what the number of that U-joint is, but it's quite a bit larger. This truck here was a factory, has a factory 550 cat in it. In other words, the engine on this truck was set at 550 horsepower from the factory. It's not something that got turned up, so it's set for the horsepower, and it's just got a heavier drive line in it. So now we're actually going to get off to picking up our parts here, so we'll catch you on the road here in a bit. Alright, we're back. We're going to slam some new universal joints into the shaft here, and these are, I don't know if I can read the number on the box here. I thought they were like an L250 or something like that. But we'll start throwing these new U-joints in, and we can put this back section in the truck. Then we'll have to wait to put the other section in until the transmission comes back. Before we close out this video, I did get a rebuild kit for that Chelsea PTO. It's sitting on the bench, so we're gonna put all the new parts into that PTO. The parts cost me about 400 bucks. The new PTO was 650. We're gonna have a spare anyways, and we're gonna get that all put together here. So in the next couple of days here, the next video that we'll have out will be this engine that came out of the 624 payloader. We've been tearing this engine down piece by piece here, and some of the components we're going to save, some of the components we're going to sell. The block is just about stripped down. Kerr's been working on this, so you guys can look forward to seeing the tear down of this engine in the next couple of videos here. So with that being said, let's get this PTO together and get this video ready to close out here. So we're gonna rebuild the PTO on I guess it's gonna be a time lapse here. So let's get this PTO together. Well, so this is where we're going to leave you on this video. This PTO is all rebuilt. Everything on the inside here is brand new. We've got a new gear that drives up against the gear in the transmission. And then we've got a new set of gears inside that spin the pump itself. So right now it's in neutral. So your transmission is going to be spinning this gear like that all the time. This set of bearings and gears here runs all the time. And then we've got the shift cover is right here, and that's got a fork on there. And right now it's forcing that gear this way to stay in neutral. So once the air pressure is applied through an air line through here, then it pushes that fork that's right, you can just about see it. There's the fork right there, light shining on it. It'll force that gear to slide over, and then it puts this gear here into that one, and then the truck will drive the shaft in there to turn your pump. So once you push the clutch in on the truck, the gear that's in the transmission that runs against this one will stop turning. So that'll allow this fork to slide this gear over, and then that'll put it into motion to run the gear pump or whatever you're running off of your PTO. So with that being said, that is going to do it for this video. We're just going to put this upstairs on the parts shelf, and we'll be able to resource that in the event that we have another PTO fail. Hopefully we don't, and we just keep on moving on here. So with that being said, that's going to do it, folks. Hit the thumbs up, drop me a comment down below. We'll catch you at the next video. Like I said, the next video, or a couple down the road here, we'll have the teardown of the 6.8 liter Deere engine that come out of the payloader. So thanks again for watching. We'll catch you at the next one.